I do believe this Hangout is now live. Guys, welcome to this Hangout. Here's a face you haven't seen for about 12 months on a Hangout. So if you haven't met me before, my name's Albie Costa, and on behalf of my business partner, Lawrence Harthbrook, who's over in South Africa, sleeping at this point, I'd like to welcome you to this Hangout. It's fantastic to have you here. Kind of weird getting back in the driver's seat and onto another Hangout. But after 12 months of sort of being semi-retired, this business just needs a whole lot of attention. Now, as I said, we've been out of action for about 12 months now. We've been doing a whole bunch of other things, living life, scratching some itches that needed scratching, and done quite a bit of traveling actually as well. But what's happened is in the last 2 or 3 months, we've noticed that our Karatbars business is kind of exploded. And there's a couple of people that have been really key to that explosion. One of them is a guy over in South Africa called Tony the Tornado De Gouveia, Tony De Gouveia. Him and his organisation have just gone absolutely crazy. There's another guy called LB Bashir, who's building a massive business over in Nigeria, absolutely exploding over in Nigeria. And another lady who I've actually got on the line today is a lady called Julie Freeman. She lives in Sydney, in New South Wales, and she has just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden has become a sponsoring machine. And all these people are getting stacked into our business left, right and centre. Caught our attention big time, and it was time to sort of come out of retirement. And as the Blue Brothers say, we're putting the band back together. So, and we're going to make some beautiful sounds. So here I am, just settling back into the seat, settling back into the Hangouts, and you know, we are, to be honest, very, very excited about continuing the momentum that these guys have put together. It's had nothing to do with us. As I said, we haven't had anything to do with the business for a good 12 months, but amazing to see these leaders step up to the plate and just build huge organisations in our absence. And number one, we want to thank our leaders, all of our leaders, for doing such an amazing job. We're truly humbled by what you guys have done and are doing. You have all the hallmarks of great leaders just by being independent and showing great intestinal fortitude for getting out there and doing things by yourselves. So fantastic. So that's the first thing. Second thing is it's just the perfect time to be putting a Karatbars business back together. If you understand the 7 stages of a currency in decline or a country in decline, you'll understand that particularly the US dollar is in the latter stages of stage 7, and at some point that currency is going to collapse. Any currency, as you would well know, through the 5,000 years of history of people going off the gold standard, there is a 100% failure rate for people going off the gold standard, and they go through what they call a 7-stage decline. And as I said, the US currency is in that 7th, the later stages of that 7th stage now. And that traditionally is when gold prices go through the roof. Now, we're not here to talk about the particular product. We're here to talk today about Julie Freeman. Now, Julie, we've been working together for about, I think probably 18 months now, 12 months to 18 months. Julie came to us from another business, which she was very successful in. And it's taken her a little while to kind of find her feet in this business, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Julie, as I mentioned, has just started sponsoring heaps of people. In fact, I think since October the 1st, Julie's sponsored over 40 people, and in the past week alone, has personally sponsored over 27 people herself. Now, I don't know whether that interests you at all, but I am happy to tell you that it's a super simple method, and it's a method you can use online, it's a method you can use offline, and it's a method you can use in any country on the planet. Regardless of how you're building this business, you can use this method. So first of all, what I'd like to do is to welcome my very good friend, one of the emerging star leaders in our Karatbars business, Mrs. Julie Freeman. Welcome, Julie.
Thanks, Albie. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you, and congratulations on all the success you've been having. It has been it's so exciting to see what you're doing. As I mentioned, we were quite happy to sit back for the last 12 months, and but you and these other girls I was speaking about have really demanded our attention. And so what I want to do, Julie, is maybe just run through a little bit of your background. I'll ask you a few questions, and we'll just go through that. But I guess the first thing I want to tell you is Julie is not the sort of person that wants to be in front of the camera. She's I wouldn't call her shy, but she's not an extroverted person. She's certainly not somebody that craves the attention of the public. In fact, she'd probably rather be anywhere else today, truth be known, than to be on his hangout. Would that be correct in assuming that, Julie?
Yes, that's correct. I have done some trainings before, but it's just been using like a screen share. I haven't had to be on the camera, so you can guide me with what to say.
All right, and just remember you're amongst friends, so you don't need to be afraid of anything. But so it just goes to show you don't have to be an extroverted, charismatic, out there sort of person to be building this business. You can, doesn't matter what personality type you are, you can put this business together. Now, Julie, just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and your background. That'd be probably a great place to start.
Okay. My professional background is in medical science. I've worked as a medical laboratory scientist for close to 3 decades. Of course, I started when I was 5 because no. Anyway, I'm married with 2 children and 2 girls.
I just got that.
Oh.
You made a little girl. Good one, Mon.
Yeah, my daughters are aged 7 and 11, and they're really the main reason why I wanted to create an income online. I was having to go back to work when my youngest daughter was 10 months old, and like many mothers in that situation, it's the worst possible thing that you want to do, to put your children into creation and leave them for 10 hours until you get back from work. So I was very persistent to find something that I could do online to replace my income, because we've got a mortgage and all the bills and raising children, needed the money, so I couldn't just leave my job. So that's I started marketing online, and like most people, it wasn't really easy. I did connect up with some people who were very good internet marketers. I learned a lot over the first 3 years, and I also spent more money than what I made. It wasn't until I really put those efforts into home-based businesses, which were still marketed online, and started using the online marketing strategy that we're going to discuss today, that really changed everything around. And a couple of years ago, I was able to leave my permanent employment and now just work full-time from home, making my money online, and Karatbars is a huge part of that.
Fantastic. So let me get this straight. You've been working full-time from home, or, from your laptop, I should say, because if you're working from your laptop, it can be from anywhere. Yeah. And you've been doing that full-time. So that working online is your sole source of income. That's
it, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I actually do have a casual contract at the hospital that I worked, and yep. I quite enjoy that now, because they ask me if I'm available to come and work, and it's totally, up to me. If I say yes, I never have to apply for annual leave again. If it doesn't suit me, I'll just say no. And it's like about 3 days a month. So I just still keep in touch with my original chosen profession. It's not a bad job being in medical science. It does contribute to society. But I now get to take my children to school. I can be at their sporting events and everything that's important to them. They're my priority, and I never put my work above doing activities with my children. So
so now you actually get to choose when you work, if you want to work.
Yeah, but I started 7 years ago online, basically, and it took me really 3 years of working out what I've heard you say is it's an internet minefield. But when you follow a system from people who've been successful, it doesn't have to take that long. You just plug into a system that's working and you make money pretty soon if you've got a mentor who can teach you, and like you have with PTG, it can be quite fast.
Fantastic. I love your little, what do you call it? Your logo, or your thing you've got on Skype. It says just enjoying another 7-day weekend. So
yes, that's right.
and that is true with you, isn't it? That's awesome. Now, So you've been, you said you've been online for about 7 years, and just how much marketing? I mean, do they teach marketing at science school, the university,
No.
when you were doing?
No, I didn't have any experience at all. No. And when I first started, I remember asking the people, what's the difference between a URL and a domain name? You know, the basic questions. I didn't have any online experience at all. And there's sort of a period of time in which you do get support, but then a lot of it becomes how much willpower you've got to change your own life and what you're prepared to, the information you're prepared to seek out yourself. And I was very, very determined. If I still had to be on my computer at 2 or 3 in the morning, I would be. But I don't have to do that now because I've got a much better system to follow. But when you're trying to do it on your own, it can be very time-consuming and extremely frustrating and very expensive. So.
And look, one of the things I've noticed with you over the last 18 months of working with you is, I mean, when we first met, it's pretty safe to say that you drove me nuts with your questions, right? Because you just had a science background, and it was like a melancholic personality asking a sanguine personality all these technical questions, and which I didn't actually know. And I think I kept palming you off to other people who could probably answer those questions. And I thought to myself, this woman's never going to make it, honestly. There's just way too many questions. She's getting into analysis paralysis. She's focused on the nitty-gritties. And then what I did notice was that you just kept ticking away. You were like a four-wheel drive in low range. You just kept pushing through, finding the information, finding solutions. I couldn't believe I was up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You were still there hammering away, and you were trying to transfer all the knowledge and the success you'd had in a previous business, and you're trying to transfer it to this business. You were just trying to find your groove, and you were so determined. And I was actually so impressed with your determination. And I did mention this to you many times on the path, that one of the things that I admire about you the most is your just sheer determination to become a success. You did what you had to do to be successful. And I have to be honest with you, I did not in the beginning believe that you were going to be a big success in this business. And I was truly wrong about that. And I'm really sorry for the attitude that I had at that time, truly sorry. But you have just been so persistent. You've put in the work that's required. You know, you've found your own little niche. You found your own little, what we call your own little honey hole, and your business is just flourishing. So, you know, well done. And it's a great lesson to us all that, you know, when things aren't working, as I say, you know, when you're going through hell, don't stop. You've just got to keep on. If you love and you're passionate about what you're doing and you believe in it, then don't stop. Just keep on getting rid of the ways that don't work, like Edison did a couple of thousand times, and until you find the way that does work, which is exactly what you've done. So, Julie, just tell us a little bit about the results you've had over the last few years. Give us an idea of the sort of income that you've been producing. Just talk about the results that you've been having, and then we'll get into some of the nitty-gritty.
Well, as I said, I was in another online business, and you know, I made a 6-figure income from there. And I think I did put into your Facebook chat that I had made more than 200,000 online in US dollars. And you know, some of that, a lot of that's from Karatbars, a lot of that's from our business.
Method we're going to share, right?
Mm-hmm. And most of that, in my first 3 years of marketing, that was affiliate marketing, I did learn a lot of online marketing strategies. But when I experienced the greatest success, it was from using one particular marketing strategy, which I've continued to use for Karatbars as well. And I've just find it's far better than any of the other methods. Like you know, I've done Google pay-per-click marketing or pay-per-click with any type of platform. Doesn't have to be AdWords. Blogging and social media, banner ads, just purchase leads. And while they do generate traffic to your website, I've just found the other method that I'm using, which is employment job board marketing, far more successful than anything else. So, and I have put together some training, which I train to all the people in my team, so I can share this concept with people. And I don't see a lot of other people actually using this marketing strategy. So, it's something we can share with the PTG team, and they'll have, it's not really an exclusive thing. There certainly are other people using this strategy, but not a lot within Karatbars. So it is an advantage to know another marketing strategy that really works. So
exactly. Look, and here's the thing is, and we've said this many times in the past, is that you need to find a strategy that works for you, but something that you really enjoy doing, you love doing, and you've just got to find your own little, what we've termed your own little honey hole. And when you find that, just dominate it. You only really need one good marketing technique to make this business work. I mean, I have my own techniques that I use. I have used that technique once, which I'll talk about it later on, but only once. I use other techniques which I love doing and work for me. So just find that one technique that works for you and then just dominate. So Julie, as I mentioned at the beginning, in the last week you sponsored over 27 people personally, over 40 since October the 1st. Are you willing to share some of the secrets of this strategy you're using?
Yes, I can. So I've got some notes over here. Well, basically, it's employment job board marketing. I'm just going to bring it up on my screen. And the employment job boards are traditional job boards that people go to if they're looking for employment in the regular business world or whatever type of employment. And these job boards, they actually have categories like work from home sometimes or self-employment. Other times it just says other. But you can actually put home-based businesses on these employment job boards. So I've found it's very good targeted advertising, because for anybody to actually see your ad, they have to be either looking for a career change, so they're already employed, they want a career change. Sometimes they might be thinking that they want to be self-employed, they think they want to own a franchise, and they'll come across your ad for a home-based business. So it's very appealing to them. Other people, they may not be employed, but they just need an income opportunity and they would like to be able to work from home. Or like myself, they've already got a job, but they want to replace their income and they'd like to do that from home so that they can live a more free lifestyle. So just the fact that they are actually, that's the target market that they were looking for, it gives a lot more credibility to this style of advertising, plus also where the people have actually seen your ad. The websites that I use, and I'll tell you how to actually find them, but for example, one of them is careerbuilder.com. It's probably the #1 job board in the United States, and there's Career One or Seek here in Australia. Work at Home Mums, CareerJet. There are job boards for mature aged people. But if you find that somebody has seen an ad for your business on CareerBuilder or Seek, they have a different perception as well as to what your business opportunity is going to be about. They see it as a more genuine, legitimate business just because of where they have actually seen your ad. There are many people that are skeptical about online opportunities, but just seeing it on a reputable website actually helps them, puts in their mind that this is something that they perhaps should look at further. So that's one advantage of this. The other thing, the ads, they run for 30 days, so they can be quite good value. Some of them are actually free. Other job boards charge a fee, and you can get that fee. The cost per ad decreases with the more ads that you actually buy. So you can buy a single ad, or you may buy 5 ads or 10 ads, and sometimes I've even bought 20 ads if I know the website is very good, and I'll use those ads over an entire year. On a reputable a very good website, you can even pay $200 just for one ad. But when you buy an advertising package, the price of that ad can come down to about $35. So it's well worth getting the advertising packages. Now, when you visit to actually find these sites, you could just do a Google search, and the keywords that you would put would be, you do a general search for employment job boards, or if you want to advertise in a particular country, employment job boards in America, or search for employment job boards in India or in South Africa or in Australia, whatever country you want to advertise in. Another good search term is top 10 employment job boards, or even top 100, and you will find people that have created blog posts, and they've actually ranked them in order of the most amount of traffic to these job boards to the least. So they're very handy. It saves you a lot of research time. Also, you can search for employment job boards for mature age people, or employment job boards for people over 50. And I actually find them very good. I find very good quality people from the mature age job boards, because these people have got 25 years, plus work experience behind them. And a lot of them are just sick of the corporate lifestyle, and they're very serious about making a career change. So I get a great response from those job boards. Now, the general principle when you're on these sites, there is a procedure that you do need to follow. First of all, you would visit these websites and look for a couple of links, either post a job, advertiser, or employer. And if you click on post a job, if you can see that tab, it will show you the advertising costs. Sometimes it could be free, as I say, but most of the time they charge a fee. So you do actually also need to set up an employer account, and that's just register your name, usually email address. Sometimes they actually ask you to register your company name. Now, just to note that you don't register Karatbars as your company name. So you can register a business name with your local government. I have one, and like LB has probably registered Protection Through Gold as his business name. So that's what you would put in the business name field. If it's not a required field, you just leave it blank. And so you set up your advertiser account, and then you can post a job. Now, I actually do provide a lot of pre-written ads for my team that they can copy and paste, but I'll give you some general tips about what a job ad actually looks like. Your title is actually very important. The title has to have keywords in it that people search for when they are on the job boards. So you want to have perhaps work from home in your title, or home-based business. Those are terms that people search for when they're in the other category or self-employment category. So I'll just go over a couple of titles that I would find would be a good title for these types of ads, and it'll give you an idea of what we're sort of doing here. So unique and rewarding sales opportunity, entrepreneurs wanted. Gold bullion industry, lucrative self-employment opportunity. So that's one title. Another one that I find is very good is be your own boss and work from home, gold bullion industry. Home-based opportunity, precious metal industry, self-employment opportunity for executive and big thinkers. So when I'm sort of making it relevant to Karatbars, I usually either say gold bullion industry or the precious metal industry. Then you also have to make sure that you don't have Karatbars anywhere in your ad, and you also have to avoid income claims. Quite often when you're posting these ads, they do ask you for a salary range. Like I often will sometimes choose the sales category, and if you can avoid posting a salary, a defined amount, do that. They often will give you an option of do not display the salary to your applicants. So I would select that. So you can't basically have Karatbars anywhere in your ad or anywhere in your registration. Your you're advertising your own business, even though you're basically like you're like a sales rep for Karatbars, but you just need to make sure you keep that out and avoid any income and salary claims. I usually do a full page ad, like an A4 type of ad, and you start off with like an introduction, a couple of short paragraphs. Sometimes you get to even do, you have to do a summary, like a 3 or 4 line summary, and that's what people see when they do a search. Then if they like the sound of your summary, they'll click learn more, and that will then open up to your full page ad. So an example of what a summary might sound like, I would put something like tired of corporate life, ? Want to be your own boss? Join our team of professionals and work for yourself from a home office. Executive income potential. Secure your financial future with 24 karat pure gold bullion. 0 outlay to get started. Learn more. Then you basically go on, you put the title of your ad and then the body of your ad. The body of your ad, it's going to be more than 1,000 characters. If there's no limit, that's great. And you would have an introduction to that, something like this. This is an outstanding opportunity to join a team of dedicated professionals who have partnered with a rock-solid company in the gold bullion industry to start their own business from home and enjoy the ultimate work-life balance. I usually have like about 3 paragraphs saying something general about Karatbars without mentioning Karatbars by name. And then you have a what we offer section, and that's usually point form. Try and think of about 8 to 10 points that represents your Karatbars business. One of them would be something like exclusive product, 24 karat pure gold bullion that everyone wants, or something like training, training provided, training and support provided, business in a box, something like that. It's a good idea to actually go into those websites and have a look at what other people write. I don't know all the ads that I've written off the top of my head. I have them all on a training website. But after your what we offer section, you can include what you must have. And that's a fairly general area about personality traits. You might say willing to work with others, or must have good communication skills. I usually include must have a computer with an internet connection. So they're just some general terms under what you must have. And then you end your ad with a call to action. So that's like, for more information, visit www.yourleadcapturepage.com. Or sometimes you can say, to watch a business presentation. So that would be ideal if the website lets you actually put your lead capture page link on the actual ad. Sometimes they don't allow.
That actually brings me to a good point, and this is where it works so well offline as well, is that you could have your phone number there. You're building, I know Tony and his team doing most things offline, building a huge organisation. It'll be the same over in Nigeria. Offline stuff, you could have your phone number there, ring for more information, then have maybe a pre-recorded sales pitch there, or you can talk to them personally. Just an awesome, little method of taking something that has worked for you for a few years and applying it to offline and online. So, and just in case you're trying to remember all this, we're going to have a PDF that can be downloaded with all the examples and all this information on there too. Sorry, Julie, carry on.
Right. Sometimes I do put my name on there and phone number and the website, but I do find that people call directly and they just want to know, so how does it all work? And I actually didn't want to spend my time explaining how it all works when I've got a video presentation that explains how it does work. So some people will email directly after they've seen your ad, because sometimes in the employer area they can see your email address. And I've got when they opt into my website, my software program shows me who is in my system. So I usually check to see if they've actually opted in. If they haven't, I would email them back my lead capture page, so that they still have to follow the process, opt into my system, watch the video presentation. Lots of people will opt in and then they'll send you an email. They haven't watched the videos, and I immediately send them back to watch the videos again. So I don't spend a lot of my time explaining a lot by typing up long emails or by long explanations on the phone. I always refer them back to the website videos to do the explaining for me. Sometimes the website won't actually allow you to have an actual link in your website. So they have a box that says, how do you want your applicants to apply? And they say A, email, or B, a website URL. So I always choose the option of putting in your website URL, and that's where you put your lead capture page link in. So what effect that does is, after they've looked at your job advertisement, they would click on Apply Now, and the Apply Now tab links straight to your lead capture page. So then it's up to them. If they complete their details, they'll go through and watch your presentation. If they don't, well, basically you don't hear from them again unless they somehow find out how to email you directly. But it's quite a neat system if you can put your website URL in there and link it to the Apply tab. Occasionally, some of these websites don't allow you to have an active link. They don't have an Apply Now area. People actually submit their applications to you, and you will have an advertiser admin area in these websites that you can log in, and you can see all the people who have submitted an application. You can read their CVs if you like, but basically all I'm looking for is their email address, so that I can then send them a short email with my website lead capture page on it. And when I've done that, sometimes I may have to send out 30 or even 40 in a day, and I find I get about an 80% opt-in rate when they receive an email from someone who's been on, let's say it was Career Builder. I would say, thank you for your application on Career Builder for gold bullion industry lucrative self-employment opportunity. So I mentioned the name of the ad that they have responded to, and I'll just read what I would say to them if I've got it here. Just thank them for that, and then say, please note this is a lucrative self-employment position in which you work from home and set your own hours. Full training and support is provided, and there is no cost to get started. Please visit this website, that's my lead capture page, and complete your details to watch the business overview video. And then I put my name and my registered business name, and that, as I said, I get at least probably an 80% opt-in rate. And sometimes, I've had, just on the weekend, I had 12 people join just from that one website with replying to those CVs. And I really sometimes now start to read some of their CVs, and I realise sometimes, I might advertise in Africa or India, and I come up with this false perception that everybody there is broke, which is incorrect. When I start reading these CVs, and they're very highly educated people that are applying to the ads, and very excited to see the quality of the people that are looking for the opportunity that we've got here with Karatbars, and they're joining, lots of them, and they're very enthusiastic. So that's pretty much the principle of what I've been doing, and I teach that to many people. They're able to duplicate that process, and it works really well.
Julie, that's awesome. All you're doing is putting your advertisement in front of the lookers.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
to have this misconception that when you're advertising or marketing, that all the people who are looking are all hiding in a corner somewhere. But the truth is that the lookers are everywhere. And what happens is there's this narrow band through everyone's life, which I call the looking zone. And as people are always coming in and out of that looking zone, you know, they start a career, you know, they think it's fantastic. They get a couple of years into their career, they're getting a little disillusioned, not making the money that they think they deserve, and they kind of enter this looking zone. They either enter another career or get into a business. They come out of the looking zone, and this happens all through people's lives. And what you're doing is you're just tapping into that looking zone, that narrow band in people's life, and you're saying, you're in this looking zone, here's an opportunity, and you just try and hit the bullseye, which is why your opt-in rate, as you said, is about 80%. It is so high. So it is just an awesome method because the job boards have done all the marketing for you. All you're doing is you're placing an opportunity in front of the people who are looking, and then they can choose from there. But it's a perfect target audience. Now, just a couple of things to note is Julie has purposely not told you the exact places that she's been placing these boards, because there's literally millions of job boards around the world. When I started this business in 2011, I think we're only in about 8 countries. No, actually, I started a little bit after that. But we're literally in 123 countries. And each country just has dozens and dozens and dozens of job boards. You times that by 123 countries, and there's literally tens of thousands of places you can advertise. If we're all advertising in the same place, it completely dilutes the effectiveness. Now, Julie, on the PDF that we're going to provide you with, has put in some search terms that you can put into Google to find these job boards, and then you've just got to be a little bit creative on how you actually do that. As I've always said in this industry, we're looking for self-motivated, self-starting people that you know, can actually use a bit of initiative. You are going to have to use a bit of initiative with this, but we're giving you the basic principles on how to do this. Julie's just said that even over the weekend, I think you said you sponsored, well, I forget the exact name of it.
On 13 on Saturday, it might have been.
Now, not all of those people are going to go out and buy packages, and also those ratios and the conversion rates are going to be different for every person. But the thing is that a percentage of people do buy packages and upgrade and actually become paid members in the Karatbars system. And you need to continuously have these fresh leads coming through so that at some point, every single day, you've got new people signing up and you've got new people upgrading. And believe me, it gets very, very exciting when every day you've got new people upgrading into your business. It is extremely exciting. This is a fantastic way for you to do it. It's a very simple way for you to do that. Julie, is there anything else that you need to add to that? Is there any pitfalls that people need to look out for?
Yes, when you are on the reputable websites, you know, like Career Builder or Seek.com, they do have advertising terms and conditions. And before you actually pay for your ad, you have to actually tick the box that you've read the terms and conditions. And it is worth at least scanning over them. And I look particularly to see if they say that they do not allow home-based businesses, work-from-home opportunities. Sometimes they'll say MLM, they'll say pyramid schemes. They just dump it all, everything all in together. And if they've put a couple of paragraphs about that, well, then I don't use that website at all. I don't try and have any type of argument saying this is not an MLM or anything. You just go to another one. A quick way is to check in the categories up front as if you were a job seeker. If you can find that they actually have a self-employment or a work from home, even sales or other, then they most likely are going to accept your job ad. But yeah, you do have to actually check the terms and conditions. Sometimes they'll just reject your ad, but I have found some websites that say that they can reject your ad and not provide you a refund. So don't just tick the box that you've read the terms and conditions without actually reading them. So that's just one thing. But otherwise, it's a strategy that works very well. And it's really, for me, I only choose English websites. There are some in other countries in which it's in another language, whereas I can't use those. So I'm only limited to the English-speaking nations that are in the Karatbars open countries, which is huge. I've got a list in my my marketing website of 100 different job boards. There is one sort of strategy that I use to determine which one I'm going to use. It's not always the most expensive is the best. I determine if a website is worth using based on what their Alexa rank is. So Alexa is ALEXA. Alexa is just it's a Google ranking based on how much traffic a website receives. It's valuable to compare the Alexa rank of one website to another. So if you've got a website and the lower the Alexa rank, the better, the more traffic that website gets. So if you're looking at a job board that's going to be maybe $60 for an ad and its Alexa rank is 2.5 million, and you've got another one that's also maybe $50 or $60, but its Alexa rank is around 50,000, go for the one in which the Alexa rank is 50,000 because it gets 10 times the amount of traffic than the one that's 2.5 million, and it's almost the same price. So that's really the only way. When you say, well, I've just found 20 job boards, which one should I start with? So just check the Alexa rank, go for the one that's got the lowest Alexa rank because it gets more traffic. You can't tell whether that traffic is job seekers going there looking for employment or whether it's advertisers going there to place an ad. It probably pretty much evens out, but it's really the only way that I always do my research, and I have a notebook. I write down all of the websites and I check their Alexa rank and I decide which one I'm going to use based on the Alexa rank. That's basically how I decide. That's about it.
That's fantastic. That's using some real modern technology mixed up with some, old school advertising. It's just an awesome hybrid of things. And I've said it a few times already, but this method will work online, offline, for just about any business that you want to promote. It's absolutely perfect for this business. Julie, thank you so much for sharing that. I know when you find a really awesome way to advertise, sometimes you've got to drag that information out with wild horses from some people. You've freely given that. You've specifically left out some exact websites that you advertise on. I know that's the only thing you've left out, and that's for good reason. So it's good for you because your effectiveness doesn't get diluted. It's good for everybody else as well. And so thank you so much for being so sharing and giving and being available to do this.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I'd like to give you one of these. That's awesome. So guys, no excuses. Julie was even telling me that there's some free job boards that actually work reasonably well as well. There is no excuse not to build this business. You've got to be a little bit creative. You've got to have some get up and go about you. You've got to have, that intestinal fortitude to actually to make it happen. Don't watch it happen or wait for someone else to do it for you. Julie is an awesome example of someone who's just gone out there and made it happen. A couple of things. Please do not inundate Julie with questions. Don't inundate me with questions or anybody else. We're going to provide you with a PDF with an outline on how to do this. You don't want to bog down the leaders with 1,000 questions. You are going to have to use a lot of initiative with this method. We don't want to see a whole string of questions come up because that just bogs down leaders and puts them in the library instead of the workshop. You want your leaders out there being creative, finding new methods, sharing it with the team, and then you taking that information and using your own initiative and your own creative energy to get out there and make it happen. So please don't bog the leaders down with 1,000 questions. Okay, we're going to cut off the hangout here. Awesome to be back in the saddle again. I can't even tell you how excited we are to see the Karatbars business just absolutely exploding on so many continents around the planet. It is quite literally taking the world by storm. Most businesses go through an evolution where they start off small and then they get to what they call a critical mass point, where it kind of has this energy of its own, and it sort of rolls on its own accord. And I sincerely believe that we're sort of getting to that point of critical mass at the moment. So you don't want to be behind the wave or in front of the wave. You want to be on the wave as it comes in. And there has never been a better time to get involved in this business, because if you don't tell someone about the Karatbars business, somebody else will. Probably be Julie or Tony or myself or someone else. But you want to get them in your team. All right. Thanks again, Julie. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on this Hangout. There's going to be plenty more Hangouts coming up. We're going to try and interview all the leaders, see what methods they're using to be successful. You'll find that one little method that you can relate to, you love, you get passionate about, and you'll see your business explode before your eyes as well. So thanks, everyone. Thanks again, Julie. Take care, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.